My phone buzzes with notifications constantly now, but never from him, never from Roger. 2 million people watch his transformation videos. 2 million strangers celebrate the life he built after me, and I sit here, watching through screens like everyone else, watching the man I destroyed become everything I said he could never be. All because I made one TikTok, one stupid, cruel 30-second video that I thought was funny. It wasn't funny, it was a detonation. The video went viral, 300,000 views in 48 hours, comments flooding in, so true, my boyfriend's the same way. And men are so sensitive, lol, and why can't they just take feedback? I felt validated. Scene, right? Roger saw it too, and he left. That was 14 months ago. He hasn't spoken to me since. Not one word, not one text, not even to tell me he hated me. Just silence. The kind of silence that's louder than screaming. The kind that says you're not worth the breath. And now he has 2 million followers watching him thrive. Watching him glow up. Watching him become the man I swore he'd never be. I need to tell you what I did. But first, you need to understand who he was. Who we were. Because the thing about destroying something beautiful is that you have to really look at what it was before you broke it. Roger was the kind of man who made you coffee without being asked. 2 sugars, oat milk, still hot when he brought it to me every single morning for 6 years. He'd set it on my nightstand, kiss my forehead, whisper, "Good morning," beautiful, even when I had mascara smudged under my eyes and morning breath that could wake the dead. He remembered everything. The name of my childhood dog. The exact date we first kissed, August 14th, in the rain outside that Thai restaurant downtown. He'd bring it up every August. 6 years ago today, I got the best kiss of my life. I used to roll my eyes. "You're so sentimental," he'd smile. "Only about you." Roger worked in nonprofit management, community development initiatives, grant writing, program coordination, the kind of work that sounds boring at parties but actually changes lives. He'd come home exhausted, talking about the after-school program they'd launched or the community center renovation he'd secured funding for. His eyes would light up. "Holly, you should see these kids. They're learning coding. Actual marketable skills. We're changing trajectories." I'd nod, half listening, scrolling through my phone while he talked. My job was flashier. Marketing director at a tech startup. Good salary, trendy office, the kind of job that sounds impressive when you tell people at bars. I posted about it constantly. Company events, team photos, hustling selfies with my laptop and coffee. Roger hated social media. "I don't need strangers knowing my business," he'd say. I'd laugh. "You're so private. It's 2024. Everyone shares everything." "Not everyone," he'd say quietly. I should have heard the boundary. I didn't. He was gentle. That's the word everyone used. His friends, his family, his coworkers. Gentle. He cried during sad movies. He teared up at his niece's kindergarten graduation. He'd pull over to help people with flat tires. Once, he spent 2 hours looking for a lost dog he'd seen on a neighborhood Facebook post. Found it, returned it, didn't even know the owners. "You're too soft," I told him once. "People will take advantage of that." He looked at me with this expression I couldn't read. Maybe, but I'd rather be too kind than too hard. I didn't understand what he meant then. I do now. We were together 6 years. Moved in together after 2, talked about marriage after 4. I'd see him looking at rings online sometimes. He'd quickly close the tab when I walked by. I pretended not to notice. Marriage felt like pressure, like expectation. "We don't need a piece of paper," I'd say. "We're solid," he'd nod. But something would flicker in his eyes. Disappointment. Hurt. I didn't look close enough to tell. The truth is, Roger was everything I claimed to want. Emotionally available, communicative, present, loving. But somewhere along the way, I started seeing those qualities differently. Emotionally available became too emotional. Communicative became needs too much validation. Present became clingy. Loving became weak. I didn't realize I was rewriting him, reframing his best qualities as flaws. My friend group didn't help. We'd go out for drinks every Thursday. They were all in relationships with what they called alpha males. Guys who didn't text back for hours. Guys who made them guess how they felt. Guys who kept them on their toes. "Roger's just so available," I said once after 3 margaritas. Jessica snorted. "Girl, I know, he's like a puppy. They laughed. I laughed too. It felt like bonding. But Roger was home, probably cooking dinner, probably setting the table for two, probably wondering what time I'd be back. And I was sitting in a bar, laughing about him being too loving. That was 2 years before the TikTok. I should have noticed when things started shifting, when he stopped sharing his day unprompted, when his texts got shorter. Sounds good instead of that sounds amazing, I'm so excited for you. When he stopped reaching for my hand in public. When he stopped saying, I love you out loud and only texted it. He was withdrawing. Slowly, carefully, protecting himself. I didn't notice, or I noticed and didn't care. I was too busy building my personal brand online. Too busy getting validation from strangers. Too busy comparing him to other people's boyfriends and finding him lacking. 3 months before the TikTok, we went to dinner with my parents. My dad asked how we met. Roger started telling the story, the one he loved to tell, about how he'd seen me at a coffee shop, been too nervous to approach, came back 3 days in a row until finally asking if the seat next to me was taken. It was the bravest thing I'd ever done, Roger said, smiling at me. I interrupted. That's not how it happened. I approached you. You were reading that book about urban planning and I made a comment about it. The smile died on his face. Oh, right? Yeah. My mom gave me a look. My dad cleared his throat. Roger excused himself to the bathroom, stayed gone for 15 minutes. I didn't apologize. I'd corrected the story, that's all. Why did he have to be so sensitive about it? He was quiet the whole drive home. I asked what was wrong. Nothing, he said, but his jaw was tight. His hands were tight on the steering wheel. Roger, come on. What? He glanced at me. Why did you do that? Do what? Correct me in front of your parents, about a story I love telling, I shrugged. I was just being accurate. No, his voice was harder than I'd ever heard it. You were making me look stupid. God, you're so sensitive, it was just a story. He went quiet. That muscle in his temple pulsed. He pulled into our driveway, put the car in park, sat there. Holly, do you even like me? I laughed, actually laughed. What kind of question is that? Of course I do. Do you respect me? The question hung there. I should have answered immediately, emphatically. But I hesitated. He saw the hesitation, nodded slowly, got out of the car. We didn't talk about it again. He didn't bring it up. I didn't either. We just moved past it. Except we didn't really. Something cracked that night, something small but foundational. I started posting about him more, not because I loved him, because I was trying to prove something, to him, to myself. To Jessica and her comments about him being too available. I'd post photos with captions like, even my soft boy can look tough sometimes, and when he finally takes charge for once, Roger asked me to stop. Twice, then 3 times. Why does it bother you? I'd ask. Because you're making fun of me to thousands of people. I'm not making fun of you, I'm just joking around, everyone does it. I don't want everyone knowing our business. You're being paranoid. That word, paranoid, I used it a lot toward the end. Anytime he expressed discomfort, anytime he tried to set a boundary. Paranoid, sensitive, dramatic, overreacting. Words that made his feelings small. Words that made me right and him wrong. He stopped trying to talk to me about it. Stopped asking me to change anything. Just got quieter, more distant. Started spending more time at the gym, more time on his hobbies, more time anywhere I wasn't. I told myself he was being moody. Pulling away for no reason, never connected it to my behavior. Never considered that maybe I was pushing him out while blaming him for leaving. Then came the TikTok. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting in a coffee shop, supposed to be working, scrolling instead. A trending sound was making the rounds, some audio about partners who can't handle feedback. My brain went immediately to Roger, to all the times he'd overreacted when I'd tried to help him improve. To all the conversations where I'd pointed out how he could be better, more assertive, more confident, more ambitious, and he'd gotten quiet or hurt. I opened TikTok, hit record. The audio played. When your partner says they're just trying to help you, but really they just can't accept you as you are, I lip-synced along. Then added my own text overlay. When you give constructive criticism and he acts like you just stabbed him. Sorry, babe, someone has to push you to be better. 30 seconds. I didn't show Roger's face, didn't use his name, just referenced my boyfriend and his inability to take feedback. I posted it. went back to work. By that evening, it had 50,000 views. By the next morning, 200,000. Comments flooded in. OMG, yes. Why are men so fragile? And my BF is the same way, can't handle any criticism, and they want us to be their mommy and their cheerleader. Pick one. I felt seen, validated, like I'd tapped into this universal truth about men and their egos. Jessica commented, "Finally, someone said IT, Marissa. Roger is gonna be BIGMAD lol another. Men stay sensitive," I laughed. Screenshotted their comments. Sent them to our group chat. We joked about fragile masculinity and emotional labor and how exhausting it was to date men who needed constant reassurance. Never once did I think about how Roger would feel if he'd see it. What it would mean to have his girlfriend of 6 years publicly mock his emotional vulnerability to hundreds of thousands of strangers. He saw it that night. I know because his best friend Mike called me. "Holly, what the hell?" "What?" "That TikTok. Roger just sent it to me." "Jesus, Holly, he's wrecked." My stomach dropped. How did he even see it? Someone from his office sent it to him. Said, "Is this about you? Can you imagine? His coworkers are asking if his girlfriend is publicly humiliating him online." I didn't use his name. Everyone knows who you're dating. "Your account isn't private. He's in your photos." Mike's voice cracked. "Why would you do this?" I didn't have an answer. Roger came home 2 hours later. I was sitting on the couch, phone in hand, watching the view count climb, 305,000 now. He stood in the doorway, didn't come in, didn't take off his shoes. His face was blank, not angry, not sad, just empty. "Take it down," he said quietly. "Roger, it's not. Take it down." The deadness in his voice scared me. "Okay." "Yes, I will. I'm sorry. I didn't think." "No, you didn't." He turned toward the bedroom. I followed him. "Baby, please, let's talk about this." He was pulling a suitcase from the closet, opening drawers, packing. "What are you doing?" "I'm leaving." His voice was so calm, too calm. "Leaving? Roger, come on, it was just a TikTok." He stopped, turned to face me, and the look in his eyes, I'll never forget it. Not anger, not even hurt, just resignation. "Just a TikTok," he repeated. "Just a joke, just helping me improve, just constructive criticism, just being honest. It's always just something with you, Holly." "I'll delete it right now. Look." I pulled out my phone. "Don't." He went back to packing. Folding clothes with precise, careful movements. "Leave it up. Let everyone see what you think of me. Let them know you think I'm weak and pathetic and too sensitive to handle your feedback." "I never said that. You said it to 300,000 people." His hands were shaking, just slightly, but he kept folding, kept packing. "Roger, please, I'm sorry, I really am, I'll do anything." He zipped the suitcase, stood up, looked at me. "Do you know how many times I've tried to tell you that you hurt me? How many conversations we've had where I said this makes me feel small, or that was hurtful, or please don't?" I didn't answer. "I tried to tell you that your jokes weren't funny, that your feedback felt like contempt. That posting about me made me feel violated." "I didn't know." "Yes, you did. You just didn't care." He walked past me, out of the bedroom, down the hall. I followed. "Where will you go?" "I'll find a place." "This is our place. It's your place. It's been your place for a long time. I've just been living in it." "I love you," I said, desperate, drowning. He paused in the doorway, didn't turn around. "No, you don't. You love having someone around. You love having someone to fix, someone to feel superior to. But you don't love me. If you loved me, you wouldn't need to make me smaller to feel bigger." He walked to his car, put the suitcase in the trunk, got in the driver's seat. I stood in the doorway, watching, waiting for him to look back, to change his mind, to come back inside and let me apologize properly. He didn't look back. His taillights disappeared down the street. The engine sound faded. Then nothing. Just October wind and my own breathing and the realization that I'd just lost the best thing in my life for 300,000 views from strangers. I went inside, sat on the couch, stared at my phone. The TikTok had 320,000 views now. The comments kept coming. "Queen behavior," and "Don't let him dim your light," and "You deserve better." I deleted it, watched the video disappear. Like that would undo what I'd done. It couldn't. I called him that night. Every call went to voicemail after 2 rings. Declined. Deliberately, I texted. Long paragraphs, apologies, explanations, promises, no responses. At 3 a.m., I got one text back. Please stop contacting me. I didn't stop. I tried mutual friends. The couple we'd gone to dinner with dozens of times, Sarah and Tom. Sarah answered, voice cold. Holly, hi. Sarah, I need your help. I need to reach Roger. We're not getting involved. Please, just tell him I want to talk. Holly. She sighed. Roger asked us not to talk to you about this. And honestly, we agree with him. The words hit like a slap. We love you, she continued, but what you did, we can't defend that. I made a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, we've seen it. Tom and I talked about it after you guys left our place last month. The way you spoke to him, the way you dismissed everything he said. Tom asked me, does she even like him? We didn't have an answer. I was crying now. Please, let him heal, Holly. That's the kindest thing you can do now. She hung up. I tried his family. On the fourth try, his sister Melissa answered. Holly, stop calling. Melissa, please, I just need 5 minutes with him. No, you don't get that anymore. I love him. No, you don't. You don't do that to people you love. I made a mistake. You made 100 mistakes. That TikTok was just the one he couldn't ignore anymore. Her voice was shaking. Do you know what he said when he called me that night? He said, I think she's always been ashamed of me. I just finally saw it. My chest felt hollow, scooped out. He cried for 2 hours on my couch. 2 hours. My brother, who is the strongest, kindest man I know, sobbed until he couldn't breathe because the woman he loved spent 6 years trying to change him and then told the world he wasn't good enough. That's not what That's exactly what you did. And you know what? He's done, we're done, don't call here again. The line went dead. I'd lost his family. People who'd loved me, people who'd welcomed me, gone. The TikTok haunted me. I deleted it, but nothing is ever really deleted. Someone had saved it, reposted it. It circulated in relationship advice circles and toxic femininity discussions and men's rights forums. My face was attached to it now. My name. People found my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my company profile. Comments on my other posts, isn't this the girl who bullied her boyfriend online? My follower count dropped. My engagement tanked. Brands stopped reaching out for collaborations. I made my accounts private. But the damage was done. And through it all, Roger was silent. Completely, utterly silent. No response to my texts, no returned calls. His social media disappeared, deactivated, I thought at first. But 3 months after he left, I saw something that made my blood cold. He hadn't deactivated, he'd blocked me. On everything. Roger had been promoted over Richard, had taken his job. The man I'd said was too emotional for leadership was now leading. I kept scrolling. More posts. Roger at conferences. Roger accepting awards. Roger speaking on panels about community development and authentic leadership. A newspaper article. Local nonprofit leader champions emotional intelligence in male spaces. The photo showed Roger, confident, smiling. The article quoted him, "For too long, men have been told that vulnerability is weakness. I'm living proof that emotional openness is actually our greatest strength." I couldn't read the rest. My vision blurred. He'd become everything I said he couldn't be, and he'd done it without me, because of leaving me. 8 months after the TikTok, I saw a photo that broke something final in me. Sarah posted it, a group photo from someone's birthday dinner. Roger was there, smiling, his arm around a woman. She was pretty. Dark, curly hair, warm, brown eyes, bright, genuine smile. She was looking at him the way I used to look at him, before I started looking at him like a project. The caption, "Best birthday dinner." So happy to see Roger happy again. 5 months. He'd moved on, found someone, was happy. While I was still checking my phone every morning hoping for a text that would never come. 10 months after the TikTok, I was still alone, dating half-heartedly, going on apps, meeting men who were fine, nice enough, interesting enough. But every single one of them I compared to Roger. The way Roger listened, the way Roger remembered things, the way Roger had loved me when I didn't deserve it. One guy, Marcus, lasted 8 weeks. Longest relationship I'd had since Roger. On our 8th date, over Italian food at a restaurant Roger and I used to go to, Marcus put down his fork. "Holly, can I ask you something?" "Sure. Are you over your ex?" My chest tightened. "Why would you ask that?" "Because you mention him constantly. Roger used to Roger, never Roger, always. I don't think you've gotten through a single date without bringing him up." I hadn't realized. Marcus reached across the table, took my hand, kind, gentle. "I like you, but you're not ready, and I'm not interested in competing with a ghost." He paid for dinner, walked me to my car, kissed my cheek. "For what it's worth, whatever you did to lose him, I hope you learn from it. You seem like a good person who made some bad choices. But you can't move forward while you're still looking back." He left. I sat in my car in the parking lot and cried until the restaurant closed and someone knocked on my window asking if I was okay. I wasn't okay. I haven't been okay since that October night when Roger's taillights disappeared down our street. 1 year after the TikTok, I was cleaning out my closet. Found one of Roger's shirts. He'd left it. An old college t-shirt, soft from 100 washes. I held it, brought it to my face. It didn't smell like him anymore, just like my detergent, like my apartment, like everything else he'd been erased from. I sat on the floor of my closet and opened Instagram. Pulled up Roger's profile from a fake account I'd made, the one he didn't know about, the one I used to check on him when the need to know became unbearable. His latest post was from 3 days ago, a photo of a ring, beautiful, vintage-looking, delicate. The caption, she said yes, luckiest man alive. Can't wait to spend forever with you at Emma Loves Books. I scrolled to Emma's post. The same photo, different angle. She was wearing the ring, her hand on Roger's chest, both of them glowing. I closed the app, put the phone down, sat there in my closet holding his old t-shirt. He'd found someone who loved him for exactly who he was. Someone who saw his sensitivity as strength, not weakness. Someone who built him up instead of breaking him down. He'd found what we could have been if I just loved him right. It's been 15 months now since he left. I'm still in the same apartment, same job, same life, just smaller, quieter, lonelier. My friend group dissolved. Jessica moved to Denver, didn't ask me to visit. Marissa got engaged, invited me to the wedding, but sat me at a table with people I didn't know. Alyssa stopped responding to texts after 3 months. We still follow each other on Instagram, still like each other's posts, but we're not friends. Not really. Just people who used to be close. I see their group photos sometimes. Dinners I'm not invited to. Weekend trips I don't know about until after. They've moved on, made new friends. Friends who don't remind them of the cautionary tale I became. I'm 35 now, single, haven't been on a date for a long time. I live alone. Work, go home. Watch Netflix, sleep. Repeat, I have acquaintances. Work friends who grab lunch sometimes. My yoga instructor knows my name. The barista at my coffee shop asks about my day, but I don't have people, not real people, not people who know me, not people I call at 2 a.m. I lost that when I lost Roger, lost his friends, his family. The couples we hung out with, the life we'd built, and I lost the ability to build new ones. Because everyone who gets close eventually asks about past relationships. Eventually, I have to explain why a 6-year relationship ended, and when I tell them, when I'm honest, I see it in their eyes. The judgment, the distance. The realization that I'm the kind of person who could do that. Some people are defined by their achievements, some by their passions, some by their relationships. I'm defined by what I destroyed. Some nights I lie awake and catalog what I lost. I lost the man who brought me coffee every morning, who knew how I liked it without asking. I lost the man who held me through panic attacks at 3 a.m., who never once said, just calm down, or you're being dramatic. I lost the man who would have been the father of my children, who would have coached Little League with tears in his eyes at every game, who would have been at every recital, every graduation, every moment. I lost 8 years of memories, and 50 years of futures we'll never have. I lost the person who loved me most in this world, and I lost him by making him feel small, by mocking his gentleness, by weaponizing his vulnerability, by telling 300,000 strangers that his emotional intelligence, the thing that made him special, was a flaw. People ask me sometimes, in therapy, or in those rare, vulnerable moments with acquaintances who become temporary friends, what I learned. I learned that you can't love someone and make them feel inferior. Those two things can't exist in the same space. I learned that constructive criticism from someone who doesn't respect you isn't constructive. It's just cruelty with better PR. I learned that you don't know what you have until it's gone is wrong. I knew what I had. I saw him. His kindness, his patience, his love. I just didn't think he'd ever leave. I thought I could keep him small forever. Keep him grateful. Keep him trying to be good enough for someone who decided he never would be. I was wrong. He left. He healed. He grew. He found someone who sees his sensitivity as strength, who builds him up, who loves him for exactly who he is. He's thriving, has a career he loves, a partner who adores him, a wedding coming up, a whole life full of people who celebrate him, and I'm here, in an apartment that still feels too big because I'm used to sharing it, making coffee for one and pretending I don't still grab 2 mugs sometimes, sleeping in a bed that used to hold 2 and now holds just me and the weight of what I destroyed. Last week, I deleted all my social media. Not deactivated, deleted, permanently. I couldn't watch anymore, couldn't see him happy. Couldn't see him loved. Not because I'm not happy for him, I am, genuinely. He deserves everything he has, but because seeing it reminded me of the truth I can't escape, I had it first, and I threw it away. If I could tell him one thing, it would be this: I'm sorry, not performatively. Not for me, just I'm sorry, for every joke that wasn't funny, for every criticism that wasn't constructive. For every moment I made him feel less than the incredible person he is. But I can't tell him that. I don't have that right anymore. I pour out my coffee, watch it circle the drain, just like I did with him. And I start another day of the life I chose when I chose cruelty over kindness. When I chose validation from strangers over love from the person who knew me best. When I chose everything wrong. Roger gets married in 3 weeks, May 14th. 6 p.m. I hope it's beautiful. I hope Emma's dress is perfect. I hope his mom cries. I hope Mike's toast is funny and heartfelt. I hope the weather is sunny. I hope every moment is everything he dreamed of. I hope he's happy. Really, truly, completely happy. He deserves it, and I deserve this. This empty apartment, this quiet life, this permanent reminder of what happens when you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. They say time heals all wounds. They're wrong. Time just teaches you to live with them. The coffee's cold now. I pour it out. Start another pot. Just 1 cup this time. I'm learning slowly. Too late.